Alrighty guys, it's me again. I am back after yesterday's video kind of flopped. It was really broken, so I decided to redo it. My editor created a whole bunch of problems and destroyed the audio, apparently. I got halfway, or about 3 or 4 minutes into the premiere, and it just died. It was just a moving picture, basically. No sound. And after watching the video back, I realized that the microphone was too muffled against the engine sound and game sounds and stuff like that, so he couldn't even really understand what I was saying, so I just decided I'm going to redo the video. Now, with that in mind, I have to make the side note that I made last time of you're going to notice the video quality is lower than it usually is. Usually I have all the settings maxed out and I try to make it look as nice as possible. I had to sell my computer to pay for my car's repairs that it suddenly needed out of nowhere. And I'm on my backup system. It's the first generation i7-875K with 8 gigs of RAM and a 7970. Now the 7970 doesn't really have the power to push this game, at least this map, with dynamic reflections enabled and highest quality shadows and all that. I capped the game off to 30 frames per second just for consistency's sake. I have a very light overclock on the CPU because it's got a Thermaltake Gemini 2 or something like that on there. It's only rated for 95 watt chips, and this one, even with hyper-threading disabled, it's only on 4 cores, 4 threads, is around 110 watts, so it can easily get overwhelmed. It'll hit 95, 100 degrees Celsius in thermal throttle with hyper-threading enabled, even at stock clocks and undervolted. But back on topic, today's video is basically going to be me attempting to properly half-ass teach you how to drive manual transmission in BeamNG, and you can apply this to real life because this is a sandbox simulator that is pretty darn close to real life. So a lot of things people get wrong when they first jump into a manual transmission vehicle is stalling the thing like immediately, because a lot of people, as soon as they feel the vehicle start to move, they just let go of the clutch. Now, I don't have a proper clutch setup. I'm using a Logitech Driving Force Pro. It's got the gas and brake pedal and then a kind of like a hat switch shifter, just a knob that you can push up and down to change gears, and it's got kind of sort of paddle shifters on the steering wheel, but it does not have a clutch. So in order to give it a clutch, I have taken my Logitech Extreme 3D Pro flight joystick that I use for all my flight simming, and I've keybound pushing the stick forward as pressing the clutch, and when the stick returns to center, the clutch comes back out. So this is not an easy setup to drive manual with. I can only steer with one hand, seeing as I have the shifters on my right side and the joystick is on my left side. It's not going to be easy to shift. I'm going to try to do it smoothly and properly and show you all the nice ways of doing stuff, but I make no guarantees. Now, I do not claim to be an expert at manual transmission. In fact, I've only driven one 3 times in my life. My current car is a 3-speed automatic, so not an expert, but I'm pretty well versed in how it functions, all the mechanics and the theories behind it. I can drive manual transmission just fine. So without further ado, basically the first thing you want to do, of course, is get in the vehicle. I got to reset this one because I was already screwing around and I managed to damage the engine by running into something, and the engine blew up. So let me reset this. Now I'm using the CP100 sound pack. Oops, that's not what I wanted. And this sound pack has a bunch of different engines for it, all created by the guy who made the sound pack. Epic sound pack, by the way. It's probably the best one of the game. This, I'm using his 4.2 liter V6. Actually, no, I take that back. Wrong. This is the Gabriel Engines and Sound mod, I believe. This one's the CP100. This one's the Gabriel Engines and Sound mod. Both very, very nice sound packs. I have all these engines for them. But the 4.2 liter V6 is based on the 4.3 Vortec V6, as far as I can tell. Doesn't have a ton of power, like 140 horsepower and somewhere in that range of torque. Like, it's not a super powerful engine, so it's a good one to learn manual in and learn clutch control. So first things first, get in the vehicle. The stick on this doesn't move, but you want to depress the clutch, and you'll be able to see it over here, since you can't really see the pedals on this particular vehicle. Depress the clutch and start it up. Let it idle down. I'm going to turn on the lights so you can see the dash, and I don't have an indicator as far as the gear that we're in or anything like that, so you have to bear with me here. Parking brake is on. Now with this game, a lot of the time if you press the gas, it automatically turns the parking brake off, which is going to become a problem for what I'm going to try to show you here in a minute. So get in, start it up, put it in gear, and the first thing you want to do when learning to drive a manual transmission is you need to find where the car you're driving or truck you're driving grabs. You need to find the friction point of the clutch. So in the game, you have to have the clutch 100% depressed. If you don't and you change a gear, it will grind. In real life, some cars you don't have to do the full to the floor clutch pedal press. It's got some leeway there, but I don't recommend doing that. It's bad for your throwout bearings and stuff. So I'm gonna find the grab point of this clutch, and you'll hear the engine start to log down a bit. I'm gonna put on the parking brake actually and show you where this is. So we're at 100%, slowly bringing the joystick back. Now you can hear the engine's lugging down. The clutch temperature is going up. If I was to release the parking brake, the vehicle will start to roll. And once it gets up to a certain speed, you could just take the clutch out and let the vehicle roll around at idle. I am not giving it any gas. This is just the engine idle doing all the work with its torque. Some cars you can do this, other cars it's a lot harder to do this. It depends on the vehicle. Now, if you want to come to a stop, clutch in, back to neutral, press on the brakes, release the clutch. If you were to do this, say, this is what most people do, is they'll put it in gear, they'll start to release the clutch, and then they'll just dump it, and usually it stalls. As soon as somebody feels the vehicle move, they release the clutch, and then you can't do that. You have to kind of ride the friction zone for a while to get the vehicle up to speed, and then you can fully release the clutch. You want to be nice and smooth. Don't do anything herky-jerky. You don't want to be jerky. You want to be smooth as butter. So basically, I'm going to try to get up to a rolling speed with as smooth an effort as possible. Keep in mind, I'm using a joystick. It's a clutch pedal, so it's not going to be fantastic. I'm going to try the best I can. So, clutch in, start it up. And first gear, give it a little bit of gas. Usually around 1500 RPM. That's super sensitive. And then slowly release the clutch. Hold it at the friction point. And you're off. And we hit a wall. Now, let's see if I can... Currently going the wrong way. But that's fine. So, Once we get out here, come to a stop, clutch in, on the brakes, back to neutral. Please make sure that was actually second gear. We took off in second gear because I lost track of what gear I was in because I don't have any display and I can't look at the stick. So, fire it back up. Now it's going to take a while for you to get good at doing this quickly, most likely, especially in traffic. You want to go to a parking lot and just practice your friction zone and starting and stopping over and over and over again until you can do it like muscle memory. I don't know. I know this like on the display where it grabs, but I haven't figured it out on my hand yet, so it's going to take me a minute. See if we can do a quick get up and go, not like flooring it, but say you got to get up with traffic sort of thing. So first gear, sitting at a stoplight, light turns green, off the brakes, on the gas. And second gear. You just want to be nice and smooth. Notice I'm not snapping the clutch in and out. I'm kind of being gentle with it. And this should be fourth gear. Now you don't want to lug the engine. If you have to apply, as you can see, I'm floored right now, and we're really not going anywhere. That's considered lugging the engine. You don't want to do that. So we're going to downshift. Now, in downshifting, you don't necessarily have to rev match the engine and transmission, but I highly recommend it because it's a lot less wear on the clutch and a lot nicer for your passengers. You want your passengers to feel like you're driving an automatic transmission. You don't want to be herky-jerky. It's not comfortable to ride like that. So, rev matching, you basically want a simultaneous action of putting the clutch in, blipping the throttle, and shifting down to the next gear, the previous gear. I'm going to try to do this while not going around a corner because I only have one hand to steer, one hand to shift, and I still got to push in the clutch, which requires me letting go of the steering wheel. So this might be a second. Alright, so watch that display. I'm going to try to do this smoothly. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself. Ready? Clutch in, blip, and we're down into third. Now, as you saw, the RPM needle kind of jumped a bit. That was still considered, if it was real life, you would feel that. That was not the smoothest downshift that can be done. It could be like butter. That one was not. Once again, this is something that will come with time, and I'm sure everybody that's driven a manual all their lives is just laughing their hind ends off right now. And we're going to go back into fourth, because we're revving pretty high right now. Now we're lugging again, so back down to third. That was a nice one. That was smooth. See if we can go to second. I think second might be too tall. So yeah, just kind of something that you learn over time. You also shouldn't do what I'm doing right now, which is clutch in and coasting for a long period of time, because this rides on your manual transmission's throwout bearing, which is not intended for that. Like, you should always either stay in gear. I prefer staying in gear, because if something happens and you're driving and say somebody pulls out in front of you or does something stupid, you can take evasive action, but you can't apply power because you're in neutral. And the time it takes you to get into gear, and then take evasive action could be too late. So I like to keep it in gear. Just kind of slowly release the clutch and let it find its RPM while bringing up the throttle, make it nice and smooth. That was a bit rough. Let's choose a different vehicle here, something that might be a little bit different to drive. Clutch in. Should be neutral. It might be reverse. That's reverse. And parking brake. So, let's see. Let's use the burn side. That's a 3 on the tree, I believe. And you'll be able to see the clutch pedal a bit better. So, let's see. Wagon or coupe. That's actually not a coupe because it's a 4-door. Let's use the wagon. It's heavier. It'll be harder to shift. Hopefully this video is interesting and you're not falling asleep right now. It's been a while since I made a video. I'm kind of out of practice. And this is an automatic. Let's change that. Engine, transmission. We'll do the 3-speed manual. I want to make sure. Okay, so the column shifter is gone, and it's now there. That's good. Well, it's now right here, and the indicator for the gears is gone. So, same thing. I touched the throttle, so it disengaged the parking brake, but clutch in. I'm actually going to change the view a bit. So this one, you can see the clutch pedal on this right here. So clutch in, first gear, find the friction zone. So just don't touch the gas, slowly release the clutch. And the car will lug, and then it'll start moving, and you can fully release the clutch. So let's get going. Second gear, clutch in. And into third. Thing does not have a very tall final gear, not even doing 55, and we're over 2,000 RPM, and we're gonna crash. Ooh, that was close. Alright, now we're lugging it, so downshift, probably gonna go to first. But you could just see you want it to be one fluid motion. Nice and easy. You don't have to be speed racer, you know, slamming gears. And I don't even know if I can make this thing herky jerk like I'm trying to demonstrate, but let's find out. Alright. Coming to a stop, clutch in. Some people like to let the engine decelerate the vehicle. So, I'm going to try to herky jerk this and be all improper. So, taking off. You can see how the RPM bounces and it's not smooth. That would be felt by the passengers. Oh, touch the wall. Oh, we're gonna die. Oh, we're gonna die. having to take my hand off the thing to shift is really problematic. Let's do a little bit of hooning so this video is not too boring. Red line. Whoops. Forgot. It's not the car, it's the wagon, and it's got a giant ass that can tap guardrails. Now the alignment's a little bit messed up. Clutch in. Let's go ahead, reset the thing. Let's do a launch, shall we? When we're not on a hill. Oh, hey, we can hill start this. So I'm not straight, but once again, find the friction zone quickly. Hopefully you'll have it muscle memory. Mine's like 80% right there. About a half an inch of movement on this thing is 25 to 30% of the clutch. So it's kind of got to finesse it a bit. Find the friction zone and quickly take your foot off the brake and get it on the gas. Don't ride the clutch either. My joystick is kind of making it seem like I'm riding the clutch, but whoop, took my hand off. Now we're kind of lugging a bit, at least under full throttle. Flip downshift. Doesn't need to be that extreme. Let's try that again. I need to find a place that's freaking straight. That was a decent one. Let's go this way. Ah, I stalled it. Because I wasn't paying attention, forgot to push my hand forward. Reverse is the same thing. Just kind of feather it. You'll never be fully disengaged in reverse usually. You just kind of feather it a bit until you get where you need to be. I don't remember if there was anything down here. I think it's just a house thing. He's kind of idling around. I watched the Craig 909 on YouTube, and he has a what used to be a 3-speed column shift Ford F100, and now it's a Tremor 5-speed, I believe. And he was saying the same thing, at least with the column shift 3-speed, is they weren't very strong. So instead of even when shifting quickly, he would do a release the clutch to about like there, and then pause, and then release it the rest of the way, so it didn't slap against the flywheel and cause problems. So it's like a 2-stage release of there, nice and that sort of thing. And he did it smoothly and quickly. If you watch some of his videos, you'll be able to see it. Let's go ahead and dump this baby. That's what I'm talking about right there. It's the best part about driving a manual is when you get to beat on it. Anyway, guys, this video is coming up to 26 minutes long, and judging from my analytics, you guys don't seem to really like this super long video, so hopefully there was enough information in this one for you to like it and subscribe. And if you want more content like this, let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, I'll see you later. Whoops. Oh, yeah. Nailed it. Anyway, guys, talk to you later.